What up, world? It's your boy Jaystar back again with another video for you. We got the top 5 receivers, man, video here, and I'm gonna get right into it here. So at number 5, man, for receivers this week, I'm gonna get into it. Let's go to Justin Jefferson, man, coming off he got locked up by Slay in this game, but I don't really know if he got locked up or was Kirk Cousins just throwing some trash to him every time he threw it to him, because it was so funny how Kirk Cousins threw late in that game when he started throwing the Thielen. It was like he just threw just enough arm on those throws just to get it past the cornerback. Some of those was actually with Slay on Thielen, and he threw it just enough, strength into those throws to make sure it got there before Slay was able to grab it or pat it down to Thielen. But for some reason, every time he threw to Jefferson, man, it was like behind him. I know one of them routes was Jefferson's fault because he didn't cut in and block off Slay. He could have had a touchdown, and he didn't run the route the right way. But a couple other times, man, it looked like it was Cousins' fault to me. But I expect a huge bounce back game for him, man. Like going against Detroit, he usually does well against them anyways. Another rivalry, divisional game. This should be a big game for them. They're back at home too. Minnesota plays pretty good at home too as well. So expect a huge game for Jefferson. That's why he's in my top 5. Detroit has given up, big fantasy points to receivers. Like I say, they play really, really fast. Detroit does. So it gives you multiple opportunities for big receivers that get targets the way Jefferson gets targets every game, to score a lot of fantasy points. So I expect a big bounce back in, I don't know if he's going to get 184 yards, against them, but he has definitely opportunity to get there, man. Because, if he's going to keep getting 12 targets, 11 targets, this game, I kind of expect him. He might have 15 targets, real talk. And I'm expecting him to actually catch about 10 of them, really, against Detroit. So, Cousins just need to get a little time in the pocket and find Jefferson, hit him with the full strength throw and not them behind him, the receivers back, throws and the short throws that he was throwing in his last game. But I expect a huge bounce back being them that they're at home and everything like that. Could just be a 2-touchdown game to 1-touchdown game over 100 yards for Justin Jefferson. And that's why he makes my top 5 at number 5. And we're going to move on to my number 4, A.J. Brown, man. A.J. Brown, I know he barely produced, in the this last game against Minnesota, but they didn't even need him. They was moving him in the slot or moving him out, giving him, his touches and stuff like that. But, Devonte Smith produced very well. They hit Quez Watkins, finally got involved because he didn't have no targets the first game. So they spread the ball out in that last game, and it worked very well against Minnesota. But I do expect A.J. Brown to get back to another double-digit target game, against Washington here. Washington's been giving up, a lot of points to the slot receivers. A.J. Brown is known to be in the slot, and moving in and out on Philly so far. We did see, Quez Watkins, who's supposed to be the slot receiver, have a couple of snaps and stuff like that there, but not really a lot as much as I saw A.J. Brown as well as Devonte Smith. But what I'm noticing still is A.J. Brown is still the lead receiver. He's going to get the most targets, going to have the most opportunities to make the big plays and stuff like that. He missed probably A.J. Brown on a sideline throw deep on the left side in the last game. So could have been a deep play for 50 yards and a touchdown easily. I expect him to hit on that in this game, and I expect A.J. Brown to pay off big money for another probably 28 to 25 fantasy points really going against Washington. We already saw what St. Brown did against Washington. So, real talk, AJ is probably in play for 50 to 40 point fantasy for even 7,300. He could come up big for you. So that's why he's my number 4 wide receiver on this top 5 list. And we're going to get into my number 3 receiver on this list. And we have Cooper Kupp, man, paying all the way up. Cooper Kupp. Arizona, man, if he's going to get 30 freaking targets, in the 2 weeks, it's going to be hard, man, long as Cooper Kupp is going to be that big of a, getting this much of the load, for the passing game, man, of this offense, man. He's going to every game get 15 to 14 touches, I'm sure of it, because their other weapons aren't really there. Van Jefferson has been hurt. I don't know if he's going to come back for sure in this game, but it still just feels like Cooper Kupp is still going to be up there at 12 to 14 targets every game to me. So if he's going to keep getting that, he's just a big part of the offense. All the big plays go to him. As you see, 28 yards, 20 yards right here. He's getting these long, big plays, going down deep down the field, cutting out to the out of bounds line and stuff like that, catching these 20 yards. He usually stays in bounds. He's a big yards at their catch play too. People don't even pay attention to that. I noticed that, but but he catches that ball and he usually breaks a tackle or so, gets an extra 10 yards. So that's why he's killing it and getting over back-to-back 100-yard games, even 2 touchdowns in the last game. I expect him to be able to get 2 touchdowns really in this game too again. So I expect him to be able to pay off this 9,900 price tag for him and have another big day. And that is why he's my number 3 wide receiver this week. But at number 2, we have Devonte Adams. And a savings, man, and a savings for him, man, because the other 2 receivers there are both higher priced than him. But I expect a big, huge game for Devonte Adams, man. He's back-to-back played against a 3-4 defense. I don't know why his targets went down this low, against Arizona, especially since they was able to let them come back against them on that game and went overtime. I doubt he gets 7 targets ever again, really. Like, seriously. Like, I mean that. I mean, going from 17 to 7 is a big difference, man. That if you would have known he was only gonna get 7 targets, I doubt anybody would have paid up 8,600 for him. So I definitely feel like against Tennessee, after them seeing how Stephon Diggs destroyed them, they are definitely going to go back to about a 13 target, at least Devonte Adams in this game. And I expect him to destroy them. And I expect him to get a 41-yard bomb touchdown against this team. So that is why he has to go as my number 2 wide receiver this week. I expect him to pay off huge for 8,400. Like, I really do. I'm expecting, man, something around with exactly what we saw Stephon Diggs got, man, for real against them. I mean, Stephon had almost near 200 yards, I think, against them. Could see a 40 fantasy point game out of Devonte Adams in this game. They need to score more than 2 touchdowns. The Raiders do. So, I mean, the only person I know for sure that can get you 2 touchdowns in one game is Devonte Adams on their team. So, gotta say Devonte Adams is my number 2 wide receiver this week on my list. And you better put him in. If you got the money to take him, go ahead and take him, man. And then at number 1 this week, got to go with the man who's destroying, I mean, every defense so far, man. Like, he has to be on my number 1, man. And I know Miami is supposed to be a better defense, like especially probably, I would say, I mean, at least definitely better than Tennessee for sure. Maybe not as much better as Rams yet proven. So, it hasn't been proven yet. Miami is a very tough defense though. But we saw what Lamar was able to do to them. And now they're going against Josh Allen, who's the kind of same type of quarterback as Lamar, but just a better passer. And so what we're seeing, though, is back-to-back same type of style defense being played against Diggs, and he's destroyed both of them. This in-and-out movement they're doing, making sure he's always lined up with the best matchup, back-to-back weeks of just in one play, he's getting half of 100 yards, y'all. So just in one play, like, that's crazy. So if he's going to keep getting one play for almost half of the 100 yards I feel like you can almost guarantee he's going to get over 100 yards a game then, if that's going to be the case. But he's showing that he's going to, even without Gabriel Davis, was able to lead the team to a big win with 3 touchdowns, y'all. This is crazy. I mean, he's getting back-to-back end zone, red zone, threat, killing it this year with the red zone threat. I don't know if he's leading the league yet in touchdown, but I know he should be almost leading the league in receptions and yards, it feels like, the way he's came off of these back-to-back games. But maybe not yards, because I know Tyreek Hill did win for like 190 or something like that last week. So, but he's definitely up there. But destroying like the same type of defense, he's playing against the same type of defense again. And if he's going to keep moving him in and out and all around with his, I mean, the coach is just scheming up the best offensive scheme for him. And just such a smart, offensive scheme I've been seeing back-to-back weeks, man. The way they're getting this boy the ball, man, is just crazy. So he has to go right now as my number 1 pick, man, because of that. I just have yet to see him fail against this type of defensive scheme. And unless he's just going to start dropping the ball, which right now he dropped only 1 ball, 2 balls here in this game. He hasn't been dropping nothing. Literally, he hasn't been dropping anything. So if he's not going to drop anything and he's going to continue to get over double-digit targets and keep having the deep plays or the big plays on the team, got to lock in Stephon Diggs, man. He's so cheap, too, compared to all the other receivers that I've given you so far. And so I definitely feel like he's almost a lock this week on my slate. I definitely will be locking him in, especially in this high-scoring game, I believe is going to be, too, as well. And that is why he's my number 1 wide receiver for this week. We're going to say who just missed the cut, though, for this week. And is actually a really good receiver, I feel like, other than the quarterback play. And that's probably why he kind of didn't make it. But it's DK Metcalf, y'all. DK Metcalf coming off of a pretty whack game, I would say, with only 7 points fantasy. But I got to say, though, the matchup is a really good matchup for him. Going against Atlanta, man, we already saw what Allen Robinson was able to do. like finally got involved, got a touchdown, almost had 2 touchdowns too. Don't forget that. He really almost had 2 touchdowns. I believe it was like a timeout or something had got called randomly. But I think the coach on the Rams, he called a timeout or something like that, and it stopped the play, and the play was a wide open touchdown to Allen Robinson. And I'm just like, yeah, it's about time DK Metcalf gets into the touchdown for 6,100 too at that, man. I definitely think if he, even with 7 targets, he can get into this red zone and finally get over 100 yards, man. I really feel like he can get over 100 yards. Just need to get him bigger plays this week. Take a deep shot, against Atlanta's defense because they're pretty weak. But I expect his targets to go up a little bit more in this game. We saw how Lockett had a lot of targets the last game, and I do expect though DK to finally get in the end zone this week and get over maybe 100 yards as well and have about a 20 something fantasy point. But that's why I say he just missed the cut just because of kind of the quarterback play. But I do expect this game to be pretty get about at least 3 touchdowns each side, and maybe the 4 touchdowns. One side will probably have 4 touchdowns, so he can have multiple opportunities to score in this game. But I said he just missed the cut kind of because of the quarterback play, but he's definitely in play though this week to put in your lineups. But that's it for my top 5 receiver and options, man, and my receiver video for y'all, man, this week, man. Hopefully y'all like all those receivers, man. Put them in your lineups. If you have any questions too, leave them below, man. Thank you for all the likes, comments, subscribers, man. I'll see y'all on the next video, which will be probably the value play video for this week. We'll be dropping, and as well as a strategy video too. So it's your boy Jaystar, and I'm out. Peace.